Frankie Russo come at you straight out of Brooklyn, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We ain't playing over here. I know I've been off the air for a few days now. So I think I picked, I said I got to come back on September 11th. So here I am bringing much respect and honoring the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, our first responders on the horrific day 18 years ago when we lost 3,000 to 5,000 Americans. Now, we all know what happened as the great Nicholas Harras Jr. said, calling out Congressman Omar and Congresswoman Tlaib, the squad, and saying something happened. We lost 3,000 to 5,000 Americans, innocent lives. And our great president, Donald John Trump, is fighting every day for that something like that never happens again on our homeland. So today, we should never forget the men and women, the innocent people that just lost their lives just like that. Horrific. From the Pentagon to New York City. Horrific. We should never forget. Never forget. So when we have these leaders attacking our great president, who's just trying to make things better over here. President Trump is ginned up the military because of the economy that he's unleashed. Because remember, economy is something that can't be overlooked, because when a country's economy depletes, look at Venezuela. It's open season. Its enemies will come out. Venezuela. President Trump, in his 3+ years, has not only has he unleashed the economy, unleashed the energy sector of this great nation, he scaled down the regulations that were putting a chokehold on the economy that was put forth by the Obama-Clinton crime family, right? President Trump has greatly enhanced, brought back our military might. So the great economy, not only is it beneficial to bringing back as the President Trump has done, bringing back jobs. In addition, our great president is bringing back, companies are coming back and making capital investments back in our country. Thank you, President Trump, right? So with all this going, these positive strides that we've made with our economy under our great president's direction, Donald John Trump, what are some of the benefits from this? Well, a stronger, more emboldened military, both home and abroad. That's why our great president is trying to latch it down the U.S.-Mexican border, because that is a big sieve for our great nation. And we've talked about this on the show, the way the vectors are come out in that area is beyond belief, right? And the vectors, we've talked about it on the show numerous times on these vectors, right? How the vectors that were being used by the 9/11 hijackers to meet up with America's Osama bin Laden, Anwar al-Awlaki, yeah, from San Antonio, Texas, all the way through Houston. And we talk about this all the time, parallel to the coordinate system vector to New Orleans, Louisiana, right up through Macon County, Alabama, past the jihadi training camp that was shut down by the FBI, past Atlanta, Georgia, through Charlotte, North Carolina, into DC, where they were meeting up with their Imam, Anwar al-Awlaki, who was the 9/11 Imam, unfortunately, right? That same vector is being used today by the Mexican drug cartel to smuggle drugs from the poppy fields of Mexico to the streets of New York City. And President Trump is trying to shut it down. And we have these stealth jihad radicalismists in the Congress, headed by Congressman Omar, Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Tlaib. They're running the House Democrats, not Pelosi, who's just as much as a stealthy jihadi radicalismist as Tom Perez is, or as Keith Ellison is, or Adrian Carson is, or the Palestinian Authority Hamas branch of the Black Congressional Caucus. These are radicals for the Palestinian Authority Hamas wing of the Black Congressional Caucus. I'm for the Martin Luther King wing, the Christian wing of the Black Congressional Caucus. So all this anti-American sentiment, which is unfounded, comes from this, the Black Lives Matter, the Nation of Islam, the Louis Farrakhan wing of the Black Congressional Caucus. Maxine Waters goes on and on. Congressman Omar, Congresswoman Tlaib, they are now, so basically, CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, who Congresswoman Omar referenced, was originally, because they had, we talked about this on the show, they had a Philadelphia, this is part of the Holy Land Foundation trial, the biggest, arguably the biggest money laundering scheme for terror in his nation's history. And it was the Obama-Clinton crime family dropped the charges because there was going to be a second round of indictments, right? So CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, according to the FBI investigation, they had them dead to right, the Muslim Brotherhood operatives, the Muslim Brotherhood front organizations, taking the US dollars through the Sakat committees all the way to the Gaza Strip to drop bombs on Israel. That's right. So it was initially formed the Council of American Islamic Relations, CARE, who Congresswoman Omar referenced as an offshoot from the horrific hit on the World Trade Center. Go figure. That's another lie perpetrated by the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, aka CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations. Because what has happened here, CARE was originally formed in the 90s by Omar Ahmad Nawid Awad. Muslim Brotherhood operatives formed this CARE group, which was supposedly fighting for the civil rights of the peaceful Muslims. But what's come out of it was they're fighting for the rights of the radical Islamists, right? So, and we've talked about it in the show numerous times, CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations. So basically in 2019, 2020, the new face of the Democratic National Committee is CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations. Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Tlaib, the squad. They are running the House Democrats, the Democratic National Committee. And who's the chairman? Tom Perez. He was the head of the Civil Rights Division of the DOJ. That's that organization that was calling for, with the 53 Muslim leaders at the time the Obama-Clinton crime family was in power, soliciting, issuing execution orders to the Then director of the FBI, Bob Mueller, the great investigator. In addition, the other spy master, John Brennan, issuing orders to these individuals to purge FBI documents, FBI presentations, and DOJ servers of all individuals with ties to designated foreign terrorist organizations. Real Deal Holyfield, Mohammed al-Abari, and others inside the Obama-Clinton crime family were sitting down with these 53 Muslim leaders as they were unindicted co-conspirators. Many of them were, I'm not saying all of them were, but many of them were unindicted co-conspirators in the biggest money laundering scheme for terror in this nation's history, the Holy Land Foundation trial. In the same breath, they were sitting down with Bob Mueller, the head of the FBI, believe it or not, the other spy master, John Brennan, who says Hezbollah are moderates, and issuing orders, execution orders to purge FBI documents, FBI presentations, and DHS servers of individuals with ties to designated foreign terrorist organizations with the likes of Muslim Brotherhood, Al-Qaeda, and the likes. Yeah. And with a straight face, Congresswoman Omar and Congresswoman Tlaib claiming that something happened and CARE came about. Yeah. So they're supporting CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, who fronts for representing the rights of the peaceful Muslims, but really when it comes down to it, in essence, they're Muslim Brotherhood operatives representing the rights of the radical Islamists, the terrorists. That's the truth of this whole thing. The truth be told, that's the essence of this whole thing. And now, September 11, 2001, right? 18 years later, what's up, Johnny? We're talking about the same stuff. And now we got the Tom Perez's, the Keith Ellisons, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Tlaib, telling us that it's our fault that 9/11 happened. And that's why they don't like our great President Donald John Trump, because he wants to make America strong again, and he has. He wants to keep America strong again, both home and abroad. And these radical Islamists, stealth jihad radical Islamists, quite frankly, if you really want to be honest, the Obama-Clinton crime family, oh my God, the stuff that we've been basically talking about up in here on my couch for over 1,000 hours is over the top. That I sit down and I look at this stuff, the Al-Qaeda support network in the UK and the United States, oh my God, right? That I say to myself, I'm Frankie Russo, right? I'm sitting here on my couch. I know all this stuff. What did the Obama-Clinton crime family know? What did they know? Because if I know all this stuff, court papers, judges' decisions, peer-reviewed journal articles, and well-sourced, well-researched open source articles, if I know all this stuff, what did the Obama-Clinton crime family know? What did Barack Hussein Obama know about these individuals? From September 11, from 2000 till 2016 when they left. The Obama-Clinton crime family. What did Hillary Rodham Clinton know? Classified information. We are outside looking in. The Russo disclaimer, right? Outside looking in. No U.S. congressional oversight committees, no international atomic energy agencies, no joint chiefs of staff, right? No international atomic energy agency, no national security council, no. So we don't have access to classified docs, nor do we know anyone who's access to classified docs. Court papers, judges' decisions, peer-reviewed journal articles, and well-sourced, well-researched open source articles. What we're searching for is a quasi-model, quote-unquote, statistical significance. In all likelihood, no probability, we look for trends, inferences, and patterns in the data and then we attempt to conceivably reach reasonable, responsible conclusions. And by the way, we believe our conclusions are close. Classified information is the mean. We're within the standard deviation of the mean. The Russo disclaimer. So that's what we do over here, right? So we put this board together. There's a little macro board. We show the Al Qaeda support network in the UK and in America. If we know this, what did the Obama Clinton crime family know? So if we know this, only God knows what the Obama Clinton crime family knows. So what they knew, how did they arrive to their policies in the Middle East? Knowing this. That's why the only thing that makes sense is that we had stealth jihad radicalism in the White House. Because the truth be told, they know more, right? Though the Obama Clinton crime family was denying intelligence that was being put to them from the Pentagon, they were denying DIA reports about North Korea having miniaturized nuclear warheads for its long-term ballistic missiles. And they, according to the report, when Lieutenant General Michael Flynn was the general, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn was the director, he was the lieutenant. Lieutenant General Michael Flynn was the director of the DIA, right? At the time, 2013, when they released that report. And in that report said that that's old news. They knew, they're highly confident that North Korea had miniaturized nuclear warheads for its long-term ballistic missile program going back to 2006. And Obama and Hillary Clinton and Barack Hussein Obama sat on their hands as North Korea was doing their nuke tests. And now our great president comes into power, gets sworn in, and he's saying, it ain't going to be this way no more. We're going to make America great again. We're going to keep America great again now because our great president's going to get reelected. Hashtag Trump 2020 landslide. So we sit back here on my couch in Brooklyn, look at all the data that we put together, the Al Qaeda support network in America, with the 9/11 hijackers, and in the UK with Abu Yahya al-Libi and Abu Hamza al-Mashri, who were part of the MI6, the MI5 intelligence agencies. They were informants. Right? So with all this that the Obama Clinton crime family knew and more, how did they arrive to their policies in the North African Middle Eastern region? The throwing out and cooing of Mubarak, putting in Morsi in Egypt, right? The whacking of Gaddafi, giving money, weapons, and training to Al Qaeda foreign fighters that go all the way back to the Afghan Taliban in the 90s. Abu Yahya al-Libi, Abdel Hakim Belhaj, Mustafa Jalal, Noman Benoitman, Abdel Basit Haran, Bin Kumu, Abu Katala. It's unbelievable, right? 12 years removed from September 11, 2001, knowing all this data, the Obama Clinton crime family issues execution orders through Qatar, through Muslim Brotherhood operatives. And they whacked General Yunus, who was the general that defected from the Gaddafi regime, joined the Libyan rebels, and they ended up whacking him because they took control. Because of the Obama Clinton crime family policies, the radical Islamists took control of the 20,000 Soviet MedPads that Gaddafi was hoarding. The majority of them was in Algiers, Libya, about 260 degrees south of Tripoli, the capital of Libya. That's where the military command center was, Abdel Hakim Belhaj. And they whacked that General Yunus, who was being bribed by NATO, England and France. So with all this data, How does the Obama-Clinton crime family arrive to their anti-American policies? If they just weren't, they just who they are, anti-American. They were anti-American, stealth jihad radicalism. There's no other way to look at this. And that's why we're going to move forward and we're creeping towards statistical significance with the goal of incontrovertible truth that that server that Hillary Clinton was bleach biting and that Obama denied knowing the existence of and he received 18 emails from. I wonder what his handle was. We know Hillary Clinton's handle was HROD. Go figure. HROD at ClintonEmail.com. That was her handle. Maybe his was Barack Hussein. Maybe B. Hussein. Or maybe the Shore of Iran at ClintonEmail.com, because that's Barack Hussein Obama, right? The Shore of Iran. So with all this data that we found that went down with the Al-Qaeda support network inside of America and inside the UK, how does the Obama-Clinton crime family, they know more than this. They know, this is what I know. This is what we found. They know more than we know. How did they justify the anti-American policies? There's no other answer for this, except that they are who we think they are. Stealth jihad radical Islamists. And now the cat is out of the bag with the DNC, right? Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Tlaib. They're swearing in under the Quran, right? The anniversary of September 11, 2001, and we're talking about past presidents, past administrations being stealth jihad radical Islamists. Congresswomen Omar, Congressman Tlaib telling America that it's America's fault for 9/11, and something happened, and that was that gave birth to CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations. It's the Council of Radical Islamist Relations, because they represent the radical Islamists under the guise of representing the peaceful Muslims. Truth be told, how did the Obama-Clinton crime family justify their policies? Beyond belief, right? Beyond belief. In addition, I'm going to talk about my Yankees before I get off the air, because I'm not going to stay on much longer. I'll be on tomorrow night. I'm going to be on the air a lot more now. I've just been working hard with my science and I've been chasing my professors all over, because I'm working on my science with quantum mechanics. I'm trying to get my hands around quantum mechanics and some other things I'm interested in science. So that's why I've been. So this article, last time I was on here was last week. This article in the New York Post on Sunday by a great investigative reporter, Paul Sperry. Bob Mueller, the great investigator's 9/11 shame. We talked about this on the air, right? Very interesting. He raised some interesting points. And he talked about what we talked about. In 2002, the Bob Mueller, the great investigator, released Anwar al-Awlaki, the 9/11 Imam, right? The FBI released the 9/11 Imam. You know why? Well, we have our theories, right? We believed as, here's what we believe, right? As Abu Yahya Libi and Abu Hamza al-Mashri were MI5, MI6, the English intelligence agencies' informants, right? So was Anwar al-Awlaki, an FBI informant, right? So was Abdel Sattar Sheikh, an FBI informant with the San Diego terror cell, as Paul Sperry points out, right? So was Imad Karaka of the El Paso terror cell with Adnan al-Shriq Juma, who was a Saudi national that resided in Florida, that met up with the 9/11 Florida terror cell with Muhammad Atta. From there, he made his way to El Paso, Texas. He used those same vectors that we talk about, from Florida to New Orleans, Louisiana, through Houston, right into San Antonio, from San Antonio into El Paso, Texas. right? The El Paso, Texas terror cell. And he would go back and forth from Mexico to Texas, Mexico to Texas, Mexico to Texas, Mexico to the United States, Mexico to the United States. And when he came here, his name was Aden El Shrique Juma. When he went to Mexico and came back, he was a Spaniard. Javier Obedes, go figure, right? This is the stuff that President Trump is fighting every day, tooth and nail, on the U.S.-Mexican border. So in this article, Paul Sperry points out some very interesting stuff, some tidbits. And he talks about some of the things we've spoken about. The release of Anwar al-Awlaki in 2002 by the FBI, and Bob Mueller had to go before oversight committees. Now, it's interesting about this whole thing, to add a little light on this, why we believe that Anwar al-Awlaki, who was born in America, he was an American citizen, an anchor baby to two Yemen nationals, was Anwar al-Awlaki. He ended up going back to Yemen, spending some time back there, then came back to America, I think in the late 70s, early 80s. He ended up getting an education, somewhat. He was involved in some graduate work, like PhD work. I don't know if he finished it, because then he got involved in radical Islamic terror throughout the country. Then he went to Yemen. It was global, and he was one of these radical Islamic terrorist preachers. He was a Muslim cleric, highly looked at. He was spewing the hatred against America while he was born here to two Yemen nationals, being educated here. Sounds like Mohammed Morsi, sounds like Mohammed Javad Zarif, sounds like Mohammed Ahmed Youssef, the Sudanese ambassador with the Sudanese mission that was plotting with Ali Shajij Ali, the blind sheik's translator, who spoke very good English, from Sudan, touring the tri-state area looking for buildings to blow up and kill Americans, right? Paul Sperry talks about the release of Anwar al-Awlaki. He had to be an FBI informant. Many reasons why. One other telltale signal was his father. His father was he had to be under a diplomatic visa, which is what, because he was in the Ali Abdul Salah, Prime Minister of Yemen's administration. He was heavily involved in the Yemen government before he came to America. He fled to America. So he got into America. I don't have incontrovertible truth, but I'd be willing to bet he had a diplomatic visa. According to Kelly Moore article, we talked about this, right? The Kelly Moore article is quite definitive. She's a former 10-year U.S. attorney, assistant to the U.S. Attorney's Office. She was head of the Violent Crimes Division, Terrorism Division, if I'm not mistaken, in Brooklyn. She knew all about Omar Abdel Rahman, Abid El Fiji, the $21 million in an ice cream parlor in Atlantic Avenue. Yeah. She knew about Mohammed al-Mawad, the Yemen sheikh that was funding terror from Brooklyn Mosque, the Blind Sheikh's Mosque, and Muhammad al-Anudi Mosque in Jersey City, with Musa Abu Marzouk, the Holy Land Foundation trial. She knew all about this stuff. And she claimed initially the radical Islamists were using this illegal money transfer. We talked about this, right? And the FBI was gaining informants from their arrests, from the data and from their intelligence gathering, eventually from their criminal prosecutions that were going down. They were garnering much information, and they were garnering informants that were bringing information to the FBI. So the FBI had tremendous hook in this illegal money transfer, to the point where they busted this big ring called the Al-Rayani ring. Now, the Al-Rayani ring eventually garnered the FBI a big informant that was able to go to Yemen and hook this big Muhammad al-Muwad, this big terror financier. Now, according to Kelly Moore, and what came out from this al-Rayani informant was that when he met with, because he went from Muhammad al-Muwad, the Yemen sheikh who was funding terrorism throughout the world, 15 to 20 million to Al Qaeda, 5 million to Hamas, from the Blind Sheikh's Mosque, the Jersey City Mosque with Muhammad al-Anudi and Musa Abu Marzouk. These are Hamas financing, right? Muslim Brotherhood operatives. Al Qaeda is the militant branch of Muslim Brotherhood, quite frankly, right? So, according to the Kelly Moore article, and Abij al-Fiji, who got busted for $21 million in a bank account while he was the owner of this little ice cream parlor on Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn. He was using the ice cream parlor, the bank account, to funnel $21 million to 13 countries to fund radical Islamic terror. The training camps, right? So Abad al-Fiji told this al-Rayani, this illegal money transferring informant of the FBI, that the radical Islamists movement now to get into the jurisdiction is going to change. They're going to move away from illegal money transmitting, and they're going to get into the jurisdiction through diplomatic visas. Who had a diplomatic visa? Anwar al-Awlaki, his father. That's how we got back in here. I mean, truth be told, it had to be. He worked for the Yemen government. He was heavily involved in the Ali Abdul Salah, who got whacked recently because he joined the Houthi rebels. He got whacked recently by Hezbollah, who whacked the prime minister of Lebanon in 2004. The Hezbollah, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force terror cells whacked Rafiq Hariri, the prime minister of Lebanon. Nothing's happened there yet. Talks of trials and tribulations and the International Criminal Courts, The Hague or whatever. Who the hell knows? The corruption is beyond belief, right? So now diplomatic visas have been used. Mohammed Javad Zarif, he was educated in America, an American-trained diplomat. Mohammed Morsi, an American-trained diplomat. Mohammed Ahmed Youssef from Sudan, another Sudanese diplomat. Then we had the general counsel of the Turkish government of Libya meeting with Ambassador Stevens, and apparently, according to the much open source articles, it is believed that this Turkish diplomat was heavily involved in the whacking of the Americans in Benghazi. Diplomatic visas are the problem now. It's been a problem since the 90s. Anwar al-Awlaki, FBI informant. Father had a diplomatic visa. Truth be told, this kid was running in and out of the U.S. jurisdiction, from Yemen into America, into American universities, involved in this 50 plus, according to the counterextremism.com website, there's 50 plus homegrown terrorists with ties to Anwar al-Awlaki. And Bob Mueller, and this is the Paul Sperry article, great investigative reporter in the Sunday Post. Bob Mueller released him. Why? We believe to cover up the FBI, the CIA debacle on 9/11. They know who these cats were. They know who Muhammad Atta was. They know who Anwar al-Awlaki was. They know who Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was, Ramzi Youssef was, Omar Abdel Rahman, Abu Alima, the 93 World Trade Center terror cell, the 2001, they had terror cells in San Diego, Phoenix, San Antonio, Florida. They were all over working with the Al-Qaeda support network headed by the 9/11 Imam. The 93 Imam was the Blind Sheik, the World Trade Center bombing. The 93 Iman was Omar Abdul Rahman, the Blind Sheik. The 9/11 Iman was Anwar al-Awlaki, and he was released 2002 by Bob Mueller to cover up the intelligence debacle because they got double banged. That's what we believe. They got double banged. So Mueller was covering up for the FBI. They had informants in the San Diego terror cell, and they never told the FBI agents that they were housing Muhammad Atta, Anwar al-Awlaki, Al-Hamzi al-Madar in San Diego. And whose house were they in? The terror cell was in? Abdel Sattar Sheikh, the FBI informant. He ended up getting, according to the Fox News documentary, he ended up getting a severance pay. Unbelievable. And then another thing. Thank you, our great President Donald John Trump, bringing back the Victims' Compensation Fund. Thank you, President Trump. A great American standing up for the American people. As the buildings are getting blown up, innocent lives are getting killed 18 years ago. We got congresswomen today saying something happened. We had a stealth jihad Shah of Iran as president 8 years before President Trump took over, with a Secretary of State that was selling our country's secrets through the server in the basement of her house, right? Our great president, and they wanted to shut down the Obama-Clinton crime family. They told Iran, who, according to court papers, were found guilty. U.S. district courts found that the Islamic Republic of Iran materially supported Al-Qaeda before, during, and after the horrific hit on the World Trade Center, September 11, 2001. It was Islamic Republic of Iran. And we talk about this on the show all the time. The damages were in the billions. And you know what the Obama-Clinton crime family told the Khomeini? Don't have to pay it, son. Don't worry about it. Yeah. We have no problem using taxpayers' money to take care of the families of the victims of these terror attacks. No problem, because we're Americans and we stand up for Americans, as our great president does and makes things. His actions say everything, right? He brought back the Victims' Compensation Fund. The Obama-Clinton crime family wanted to shut it down, and they almost did. The Democrats wanted to shut it down because they're run by the stealth jihad radical Islamists, Muslim Brotherhood, CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, CARE, the Council of Muslim Brotherhood Islamic Relations. They are Muslim Brotherhood. Right, John? So our great president brings back the Victims' Compensation Fund. The Obama, this is the differences are so stark between our great president and the Trump administration and those stealth jihad radical Islamists before our great president got sworn in, the Obama-Clinton crime family, is beyond belief. And today, the anniversary of this horrific event that happened, killing 3,000 to 5,000 Americans, innocent Americans. And thank you so much for the service of the men and women of the United States Armed Forces and the first responders. Beyond belief what they've been through. They have every right. We should be taking care of them hand over foot. And that's what our great president has said, and he's done. This is beyond belief that we're fighting with the Democratic Party, which really is the Council of American Islamic Relations, the Council of American Muslim Brotherhood Islamic Relations. That's who they are. Telling you, FBI data clearly, clearly from the Holy Land Foundation trial, clearly identifies as CARE as Muslim Brotherhood operatives. No, Omar Awad, no more Omar Ahmad, Nahid Awad. They were there in Philadelphia. I'm, they were there in Philadelphia in the 90s with the Hamas conference. They were there. Unbelievable. And now CARE has taken on a different face. Now it's Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Tlaib. They're feeling good now. It would be horrific, John. They are feeling good now because now they're swearing in under the Quran. So, like the blind sheik said when he whacked Sadat and when they blew up buildings over here, he said, we did call me a Muslim, call me a terrorist. We did nothing wrong with a PhD from Al Azhar University, knowing the Quran wrote. He said, we did nothing wrong. It's in the Quran, right? They swear in under the Quran because they say they're doing nothing wrong. It's in the Quran. All this blowing up of buildings and killing innocent Americans, they're saying they're doing nothing wrong. They did nothing wrong. It's in the Quran. It's in the Quran. It's in the Quran. That's right. So tomorrow I'm going to be on the air. I'm getting off now. I'm tired. It's late. I get back to my science. It's tired. I'm late. We're going to do more. Good question, Johnny. We're going to do more. I haven't gotten off my thing that the Barack Hussein Obama and Hillary Rodham Clinton materially supported with money, weapons, and training and human assets Anwar al-Sharia, the Sunni terrorist group, which was fronted by the Quds Force Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps terror cell inside of Libya, the group that did the horrific hit on the Benghazi mission. That was one of the reasons why Hillary Clinton was bleach biting her server that was in the basement of her house because it had all of the Benghazi data on that server. And Obama denied knowing of that server. After all, he received 18 emails from that server. I wonder what his handle was. The Shah of Iran at clintonemail.com, because I know Hillary Rodham Clinton's email handle was HROD. Oh my God. Beyond belief, right? HROD. Unbelievable. As she takes her jets down to Lolita, takes the Lolita Express down to the Orgy Island with Bill Clinton, Huma Abedin, and whatever else she's got going on. But anyway, that's what's going on. So we're still taking up the mantle that the Obama Clinton crime family, Barack Hussein Obama and Hillary Rodham Clinton, materially supported the Libyan terrorist group Ansar al-Sharia, which was basically a cutout. It was created by the Quds Force Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps terror cell inside of Benghazi. And the vectors are very clear. From Ajabaya is 90 degrees north, and you're in Benghazi. From Benghazi to Derna, those are pipelines. Those are logistical, technological pipelines from Ajabaya to Benghazi. From Benghazi to Derna in Libya, it's 45 degrees northeast, and they're in Derna. That's where all of the foreign fighters, the Al-Qaeda foreign fighters were, with Bin Kumu and Abu Qatala. So the sick thing about this whole thing, the Obama Clinton crime family materially supported Al-Qaeda foreign fighters that go back to the Afghan Taliban versus the Soviet Union. We are, 11 years, 12 years removed Right now, we're 19 years removed from September 11, 2001, and the Obama-Clinton crime family was materially supporting Al-Qaeda, foreign fighters, in 2012. Sick. And they got the nerve to stand in front of the American people, Obama, that stealth jihad radicalism is, and Hillary Rodham Clinton, that American Muslim convert, to stand there in front of the American people and tell us to talk about American values and these rights, that rights, the rights. And meanwhile, their stealth jihad radicalism is looking to blow up and kill Americans and issuing money, weapons, training, and human assets to our enemies as they stand in front of the American people with a straight face, mourning the deaths in Benghazi. American men and women of the United States Armed Forces sacrificing their arms, their hands, their eyes, their limbs, their lives. And they are arming Al-Qaeda with money, weapons, and training. What the heck is going on over here? And President Trump is a Russian. All they got is President Trump is a Russian KGB agent. Are you kidding me over here? For real? Like, for real? Like, seriously? Great point, John. Great point. So I'm getting out of here. I'll be on tomorrow. I'm coming on, but I don't know if I'm going to be on. I'm already on. It's already 45 minutes. Hey, Lawrence. What's popping, Lawrence? Get out of here. Is that true? Frankie, Lawrence says the New York Times is blaming the planes instead of the hijackers. And the New York Times is whack too, right? Not all of the writers there are corrupt, but the editorial board of the New York Times is corrupt. The Washington Post editorial board is corrupt, and the Huffington Post editorial board is corrupt. Not all reporters from those publications are corrupt. But anyway, it's about 45 minutes in. I'm going to get off the air. I'll see you all tomorrow night. I'll have something to say tomorrow night. Oh, by the way, my Yankees, a quick sports thing, okay? My Yankees, I didn't like yesterday what happened. No. Glaber's a great baseball player. That was a mental error. That opened up the floodgates. We should have won yesterday. Thank you, John. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you. So my Yankees, I think, I believe my Yankees are going to take it this year. And, we don't have I don't trust our starting pitching. I'm not going to lie. I don't care what Paxton's done the last month and a half. I don't care about, what Happ, his last 3 starts. With the grace of God, John, with the grace of God, we will. I don't care what, what's his name? Tanaka. I don't trust them. They got to be on short leash. Short leash. Love Severino. They got to be on short leash. All got to be on short leash. We got to invoke our bullpen early and often. We don't trust our starting pitching. Invoke our bullpen early and often, and the Yankees go all the way. Because we got bullpen. And this game, no matter how much they try to reduce the pitching, you still got to pitch your way to a championship. And it's the pitching now, you couldn't win with bullpen and offense. We got offense, home runs. So if we face a Verlander, Verlander gives up the bomb. Verlander gives up the bomb. We're going to run through Houston. Bullpen. Chad Green's looking nasty. Chad Green's looking like his old self. Britton's looking like his old self. Big O is starting to hone in. Chapman's being Chapman, nasty. And then we're getting Severino back and Betances. If Betances throws 95 with that hook, we got another Big O. Betances was an animal last year in the postseason. Then we get a little Jonathan Loáisiga. Yo, listen, Yankee pitching coach, listen. Stop this with Loáisiga. He's got a 98, 99, 100. Let him bring the heat. He has to throw the heat for an inning. Stop it with these 20 changeups in a row. And Domingo Germán, throw your fastball more, please. You got A+ stuff. The Giants. I'm going to give them one more game. Okay? What they did, I don't know, we got no defense. We have no interior defense. We can't stop the run. Fundamental, right? And 3rd and 2, we're driving, and he doesn't. We got a monster back there in Saquon Barkley. He doesn't give him the ball. He has Eli Manning doing rollouts. I mean, Eli Manning, he's I'm a Sims guy, but Eli Manning is a good quarterback with some great moments. He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer because of his 2 Super Bowl MVPs. I'm not a big Eli Manning fan, but he's a consummate professional, right? But 3rd and 2, you got the monster back there. Give him the ball. Let's control the line of scrimmage. Let's use the hog mollies and let Saquon Barkley do his thing. Let's control ball control. Let's control the clock. Keep the defense off the field and see if we can win some games. This other way is ridiculous. To throw the ball all over the field. It's against it's not working in our favor, right? I don't care. It's Daniel Jones. I don't care who this kid is. I don't know how we drafted him 6th. Why did we draft him in the latter of the 1st round, the beginning of the 2nd round? Let's get some defense like Josh Allen or Ed Oliver, who we're going to face this Sunday with the Bills. The Bills are, you're right, Johnny. You're right. The Bills, they're coming, the Bills. And we'll see how good, if the Giants get anything in the tank. Because if the Giants have anything in the tank, they're going to probably go with this kid Jones. Because this is ridiculous. I mean, this Pat Shurmur, I honestly, I don't know much about his background, and he's probably been trained very much for the job that he's hosting right now, the head coaching job for the New York Football Giants. But it seems to me that he's looking and searching for control because he wants to call his plays or whatever. He's calling plays, and he needs his quarterback. It's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. You got a monster back there in Saquon Barkley. Power running football trumps everything. Power running football trumps everything. The counter tray. Ball control. The 1990 Super Bowl. New York Giants versus the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo controlled the ball 41 minutes. We controlled the ball 41 minutes. Buffalo, the prolific offense, had the ball 19 minutes. They scored a point a minute. We won 2019. We controlled the ball 41 minutes. That's what we have to do. We have to play a bend, don't break defense, stay away from the big play, tackle the receiver as soon as he catches the ball, try to get some sort of interior defense. Daniel Jones, who cares? Honestly, John, he's not the answer, right? The answer is the system. We need to get the ball control, run first, run second, run third, get the 2 tight end offense, get the hog mollies going, and let's play some big, old-fashioned, smashing them out, old Giant football. That's the only way we're going to do anything over here. Now, the Jets. I'm not a Jet fan, but, I got no problem with the Jets. The Jets got a good team, though. You got to watch the Jets. The Jets got interior defense. They got those studs in the middle. And they got that Bell in the back who's going to help their rookie quarterback. The rookie quarterback's got something. He's got some moxie. He's got an arm, and he's tough. He hangs in there. The kid's going to be good. The kid could be good. And Bell's going to help him be good because Bell should take the load. They don't have to be creative. Just get a better offensive line and run Bell left, run Bell right, play action, take the ball out of Bell's stomach, and go throw down the field. This is it. Darnell's tough guy, smart kid too. I think the Jets are going to do something. The worst case, the Jets are going to compete. They could play 500. They can win 9 games. They might make the playoffs. Defense too. They're coming. The Jets come on the defensive side. They tackle. They got a secondary that comes. They come for it. The secondary comes for it, man. And plus, they tackle. Plus, they got the studs in the middle. The 2 big-time run stoppers. They could stop the run. They clog the middle. Very important in the NFL. Interior defense. The interior offensive line and the interior defense. Very important. Force the team to throw over the defense. What you're doing is, if you take the middle field away from the offense, you take the ground game, the middle of the field. You force the team to the sidelines. So the sidelines become the 12th man. It's easy to defend. If you're able to clog the middle up and make them throw over the defense, now you got the flats, you got the so it's a lot easier to defend as opposed to with the Giants defense. It's just one big sieve that has yet to be addressed. Very bad draft right now. So we'll see comes Sunday. I'm going to give them another day. If the Giant defense is not coming for it, if the Giant defense isn't coming for it, it's a problem. It's okay. The Jets are going to rebound. The Jets are going to play. They got that kid Bell's going to take It's going to take a big load off of the young quarterback. It's going to help him a lot. The Knicks, I'm telling you. Now, my Knicks, we're going to the playoffs this year. That's my take. We'll talk more about that as we get into October. Right now, I got the Giants. If they don't come for it Sunday and really take it to the Bills, because the Bills got to win. And the way this Pat Shurmur, the way he manages the football team, it don't look like he's in control. So he's trying to get control through the play calling, through his new quarterback. Because I believe Gettleman's better than this. And Gettleman basically was appeasing his head coach with this Daniel Jones as number 6. Because he wants to get rid of Manning and get control of the offense, feeling that's how. Because this is what happens when you put these offensive gurus head of a football team. You're better off with a defensive coordinator, because a defensive coordinator understands one thing. They understand defense and they understand the line of scrimmage. And the line of scrimmage is where the game is won and lost. A defensive coordinator will make certain that there's an offensive line and will make certain the defense is coming for it. Now you got the beginnings of a playoff football team. Offensive line and the front 7 is the beginning of a playoff football team. We have a weak defense, and our offensive line may be improved. But we have an offensive head coach that doesn't believe in running the football. Should be smashing around football. Saquon Barkley left, Saquon Barkley right. And medium range passing to the tight ends and the running back. Let's move the chains. We're not looking for the big play. We want to move the chains, control the football, control the clock, keep the defense off the field, keep the Tom Brady's, the Drew Breeses off the football field. That's how we win. That's the only way we're going to win. We don't have a defense that can line up. And it showed me how much of a conviction that this head coach has. When his team was driving, I think we were down by 14-7 or 17-7, something like that. And we're driving. We're in Dallas territory, 30 Dallas, 3rd and 2, and he doesn't give it to the monster. Saquon Barkley, Johnny. He doesn't give it to the monster. He has Eli Manning rolling out. Quite honestly, he's lucky he can run to the sidelines right now. Truth be told, Eli Manning. Truth be told, right? He's no mover. Thank you, Johnny. God bless you. He's no mover. He's no mover. He's not. Eli Manning is a good quarterback, consummate professional. I'm not, a big fan of his, but I respect the hell out of him, right? I'm telling you, Johnny, right? I respect Eli Manning. He never should have lost his streak. That McAdoo coach never should have did that to him. I respect his longevity, and he's had some really good moments as a NFL quarterback. He's probably going to make the Hall of Fame with his 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Jim Plunkett got 2 Super Bowl MVPs, if I'm not mistaken. He's got 2 rings. Jim Plunkett. Maybe he's a Jim Plunkett, a Rich Gannon. I can't put him in the elites. People, come on, man. Danny Marino. Danny Marino's haven't won a Super Bowl. Is he better than Danny Marino? Come on, man. Right? Burt Jones. Come on. Please. I respect Eli Manning. We won 2 Super Bowls with Eli Manning. Absolutely. But don't put him anything more than he's a good quarterback. Good question, Johnny. I don't know. But Eli Manning's a good quarterback. He represented the New York Football Giants with much respect, and honor to his credit. He came to play every Sunday. And truth be told, Eli Manning, I mean, his longevity is something to be not to sniff at. He had the record, I think, or one of the records on the streak of consecutive starts. I mean, it's pretty impressive at quarterback. No matter how much they've ratcheted down the tackling, it's still impressive that he was able to reach the level of consistency that he's reached. He very rarely missed a snap, did Eli Manning, to his credit. So he's a good quarterback, served the Giants well, and he had a Hall of Fame career with those 2 Super Bowl MVPs. That's what I think. Am I enamored? I'm not. I'm a Phil Simms guy. I think Simms threw a better ball. I think Simms was just as tougher. I just think Simms came around at a different time. He didn't have the wide receivers that Eli Manning was throwing to. Right? Simms threw a better ball. I mean, Simms was unbelievable. And he had, when he came, the Giants were like paper thin on the offensive line. He was getting hurt every year, and he turned it around. He started lifting with the offensive linemen. He turned it around. Tough guy. I'm not saying Manning isn't either. Don't get it twisted. Manning's tough too. Absolutely. But he's not, he's a good quarterback. He's not elite. Somebody tells me elite, I think, come on, man. Let's be honest. But he'll be Hall of Fame because of his MVPs. It's like Jim Plunkett. Jim Plunkett won the Heisman, an Iron Man, absolutely, John. Jim Plunkett won the Heisman. I think he won 2 Super Bowl MVPs and 1 Super Bowl MVP, but I know he's won 2 Super Bowls, Jim Plunkett. Rich Gannon won a Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, either. 2. So, I mean, Doug Williams. Doug Williams won a Super Bowl. Right? Doug Williams is a good quarterback. One of the, was he? Doug Williams is a tough guy. Very athletic. So people get it mistaken. People get it twisted, right? Not always the best quarterback is the best athlete. Not always the case. Cam Newton, one of the best athletic quarterbacks ever to exist, ever to live, was Cam Newton. He was one of the greatest. And RG3 didn't make it, right? Warren Moon, Hall of Fame, absolutely, John, absolutely. Peyton Manning, by far better than his brother. Not even close, John. Not even close. Peyton Manning. So, I mean, Peyton Manning was unbelievable, right? So, it's not the best athlete that makes the best quarterback. The toughest guy. Tom Brady. Tom Brady's, Brady's one of the best quarterbacks ever, right? You could argue top 3 ever, greatest ever. You could definitely argue it. Me, I'm Joe Montana, Burt Jones, John Elway, and you had Tom Brady, right? Roger Staubach. I mean, there's so many, right? It's usually the toughest guy. The toughest guy. And Tom Brady, whose combine numbers were like one of the worst in the history of quarterbacks, is arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever lived. So, right? Go figure. Go figure, man. That's football. Quarterback's the toughest guy. One of the toughest guys on the team is the quarterback. Truth be told. Maybe Tom Brady's, he's unbelievable. I tip my cap to him. He's amazing. He really is, John. He is absolutely amazing. He's amazing what he does. He's amazing. And now they're getting him Antonio Brown. If they can keep him out of jail, what a talent he is, Antonio Brown. Absolute head case. Odell Beckham's not far away from him, that's for sure. I'm not an Odell Beckham fan. I don't like wide receivers that don't block. I don't like it. I don't like wide receivers that don't block. I'm old school, old school, new school. I like the running attack. Power running football. Can't beat it. I point to the New York Football Giants, 1990s. I'll point to the Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith team with Larry Allen. They used to tell the defense that he's running down my side, Emmitt Smith. They couldn't stop these guys. Couldn't stop them. That's football, man. That's a football team. Emmitt Smith. And Larry Allen used to tell them, the defense, that he's coming down my side now. They couldn't stop him. That's how good they were. That's what I'm talking about. That's football. Power running football. You control the risk. People don't talk about the risk that football teams take when the quarterback fades back to pass. There's so many things that could go wrong. Tip pass, receiver runs the wrong route, the quarterback, the ball slips out of the quarterback's hand, the running back, the pass protection, the running back misses his assignment, and the blitzer gets to the quarterback. I mean, there's so many things, Johnny, that could go wrong on a pass play. Running the football, power running football, and we got the running back. We got Saquon Barkley, and he's got some hog mollies there. Let's get the right schemes for these cats, and let's get this thing moving. Then you can take the ball out of his stomach, do the play action thing. This is crazy. He touched the ball 5 times against Dallas. The first 5 possessions, he rushed for a touchdown or a 70-yard run or something like that. Saquon Barkley. It's ridiculous, man. I'm telling you, John. To me, it's a no-brainer because we have no interior defense. We have no pass rush. Forget about inside push. We got no edge push. We got no interior defense. So we're a sieve on the defense. We got to keep defense off the field and let's control the football. That's the only way we're going to do anything this year. Weak schedule. Let's run the football and then play action. This other stuff, throwing the ball over the field, is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Spread offense. I ram the ball right down your throat. And what are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? Spread offense. We ran the ball right down your throat. What are you going to do? We don't turn the ball over. We give it to Saquon Barkley. He don't put the ball on the floor. What are you going to do? You're going to step to the box. We're going to still run the ball. You step to the box. That's how good we got to be. They got 7 guys in the box. That's what we want. We're going to ram the ball down their throats. Confidence. That's how you win. 3rd and 2. If you get hit 2 yards and 2 downs, you shouldn't be on the football field running the football. You got Saquon Barkley. That's like the Marshawn Lynch play in the Super Bowl. They passed the ball with Marshawn Lynch behind. Are you serious? You got a monster back there, and you pass the ball? When you fade back to pass, people don't realize the risk. So these coaches, they see the pass. Everybody's passing, so we got to pass. It's a copycat league. Yeah, go copycat. Copycats don't win. Counter tray. Counter tray. I can see Saquon Barkley. Counter tray. That's it. Counter tray. Yeah. Here it comes. We're running the football. 3rd and 8. We're running the football. That's arrogance. But that takes a lot of training and a lot of coaching to get the mentality. Because then when you got 3rd and 2 and you're in Dallas territory, on the road, no less. On the road. You're going to ram that ball down their throat. That's how a team gets confident on the road. That's a playoff team. But the Giants play scared. 3rd and 2, and they're passing the ball because they can't get 2 inches. You can't get 2 yards. Then you don't have a team. Running game builds the confidence. Offensive line running the football builds the confidence. You can win home and a road. Then you pull the ball out of the stomach and you throw up top. You got the wideouts. You got the tight ends. The tight ends got a block. 2 tight end offense. Let's get the fullback in there. Let's ram this ball down their throats. That's the only way we're going to win. If we don't do that, it's Daniel Jones. Who is this guy? Quarterbacks are only good with the plays they got around them. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Coaches, he doesn't know what he's doing, Pat Shermer. I don't think he does. I think he's under a lot of pressure. He's been trained for the job, absolutely, but I don't think he's handling it right. I don't think so. I think he's looking for control through his quarterback. He wants to call the plays. Don't work. You're better off with a defensive coordinator. You'll have a strong defense, and the defensive coordinator will build the offensive line because he knows how important the line of scrimmage is. Defensive coordinators know the game is won and lost at the line of scrimmage. They know the offensive line is just as important for a football team as is the front seven on the defense. I don't care who you got in the corner spots. And, play a cover two. If you got the 7, that's going to put the heat inside push. The Jets got inside push. The Jets got 2 stud tackles. They're going to get the inside push down the road. They may not get it right now because they're coaching. They get in the Jets got new players. They're rookies. They're all feeling it out. Jets going to be good. By the middle to the end of the year, the Jets might be a playoff team. That's how good they're going to be. People are going to be shocked how good the Jets are going to be. That Bell is a big difference maker. He's going to take a lot of heat off of the young quarterback, and you got defense. You got interior defense. I'm out of here. Frankie Russo, God bless you all. God bless you all in the room. Thank you for the visit, Johnny. Thank you for the visit, Lawrence, on YouTube Live, Facebook Live. God bless you all. Thank you. God bless the men and women of the United States. God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. I can't talk anymore. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your service. And once again, in this day, we should never forget September 11, 2001, when we lost 3,000 to 5,000 Americans. Innocent lives were lost because of stealth jihad radical Islamist terrorists. And now we got them in the government. Now we got them in the United States government, these stealth jihad radical Islamists. So we must never forget the sacrifices of the men and women of the United States Armed Forces that provides us with the freedom that we love. And we must never forget the first responders because they're always there when we need them. They are amazing individuals. The men and women are first responders. So God bless our great country, America. I love my country, America. I love what our great president is doing for our country, America. And God bless our great president, the warrior. We didn't elect a priest. We elected a warrior in Donald John Trump, fighting for America, fighting for the sovereignty of this great nation, fighting for the economy of this nation, because through economy breeds great strength for the country, for the American people. God bless you, our great president, Donald John Trump. This is Frankie Russo, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. I'll be on the air tomorrow night, and I'll see you in the future. I'll see you all in the future on YouTube Live too. How y'all doing? Frankie Russo coming at you.